With that said, thank you again, everybody, for your valuable time for joining this webinar. This is a joint presentation between TEAMSable POS and Worldnet Payments. And just to give you a brief background about TEAMSable, TEAMSable POS is a innovative full-line point-of-sale hardware manufacturer with corporate offices in Taipei, Taiwan, and San Jose, California. And Worldnet Payments is a global payments leader gateway with their corporate offices in Dublin, Ireland, and also in Atlanta, Georgia. This webinar will be in two halves. The first half will be presented by yours truly. I'm Ron Kiley, and my role with TEAMSable is business development and channel management. And the second part of this webinar will be presented by Con Byrne from Worldnet Payments. And with that said, I'll just briefly turn it over to Con so he can just do a quick introduction.
Hey, Sean, thank you very much for the introduction, and thanks to everyone for joining in and attending this webinar today. So Sean says, Con Byrne is my name. I'm the SVP of Sales for Worldnet. I'm based here in our Atlanta, Georgia office. And just I suppose a quick overview for those of you who don't know us. Worldnet is a payment gateway, and we're primarily focused on the integrated solutions. So we work with ISVs providing a variety of different methods to integrate payment solutions, and we'll go into that in some more detail throughout the presentation.
Great, much appreciated, Con. So on the slide before you is an overview of what we will discuss in this webinar. We will also focus on the channel collaboration efforts between TEAMSable POS and Worldnet Payments, which is the main reason why we are having this presentation today. And this collaboration effort between both of our companies enables channel solution providers to offer POS systems and kiosks with TEAMSable hardware with integrated EMV payment solution that would be powered by Worldnet Payments. And of course, this collaboration will allow our channel partners such as distributors, ESOs, ISVs, and VARs to offer a versatile value-add solution and also a complete hardware bundle with integrated secure payments to the end user merchant to a wide variety of different verticals. We'll go on to the next slide here. So as we all know, especially within the last 3 to 5 years, the evolution of payments has been rapidly advancing. The changing payment method types from unencrypted MSRs that just went from unencrypted MSRs to the PCI certified encrypted MSRs, and now with the EMV certified payments. All of these advances in the payments ecosystem has ushered in changing customer demands and expectations for multiple payment options at the POS system and at other touch points in the retail system. And as a result of this, many of us in the channel have had to recalibrate our business models to be able to offer these new payment solutions. For example, for hardware vendors such as TEAMSable, there has been a need, of course, for us to keep pace with producing new payment hardware solutions that are certified to offer key injectable readers and also EMV readers and contactless payment solutions that could be bundled and integrated with today's modern POS systems. And the collaboration effort between TEAMSable and Worldnet Payments easily allows a versatile point-of-sale hardware bundle with a payment solution that can keep pace with the ever-changing demands and requirements of the payment industry today. So we'll do a quick overview of the versatile hardware line that TEAMSable can offer the channel. So on the screen in front of you, you see numerous different hardware items, and this allows us to be basically a one-stop shop for many of the core hardware needs that many integrators in the channel today require. So as you can see on the screen in front of you, we have everything from desktop touchscreen all-in-ones to desktop kiosk solutions to wall-hanging kiosk solutions, and also with Android panel wall-hanging solutions. Okay, so this is a robust line of hardware offerings that meet the needs of many integrators. You know, this allows also for not only Windows solutions, but also Android-powered solutions as well that can be deployed for many different verticals and applications, and also at a value-priced, actually our pricing is very aggressively marketed in the channel to offer optimum economics for many of our channel partners. So let's take a deeper dive into each product line that we offer. So on the screen there in front of you, we offer, you can see our Windows machines. They come with the latest Intel-powered CPUs and Windows operating systems. We come in with a J1900 CPU and all the way up to a Core i5, and we also have a Core i3. Again, our hardware is extremely competitively priced. This complete line of Windows operating system desktop all-in-one touchscreen terminals also come with all of the popular peripherals such as rear customer displays, cash drawers, printers, and of course, integrated EMV readers for secure payments that are powered by Worldnet payments. Our product offering with the Windows line has been very successful in the channel due to the robust versatility of the hardware, the value price point, and the great support that we offer our channel dealers. So in addition to the Windows all-in-one touchscreen desktop terminals, we also have a full line of Android all-in-one desktop touchscreen terminals. These units have been very successful for us, and for numerous reasons. One is the versatility of the sizes of the screens. As you can see on the slide in front of you, we have a 7-inch, a 12-inch, and also a 15-inch as well. And our Android line of terminals carries the same high quality as our Windows terminal series. In addition to that, our Android terminals also come with the full line of peripherals, customer displays, and of course additional cash drawers or receipt printers. We offer the full line, and again, most importantly, well, why we're here today, is the integrated EMV readers that we have. You can see them in the photo there on the 15N and the 12N. That would be powered by Worldnet payments solutions for secure EMV processing. And next we'll just do a quick overview of our embedded digital signage systems. And I should just actually add a caveat to that this would be not only for digital signage, but can be used for many other solutions as well. the screen sizes range from 12-inch to 43 inches in size, diagonal, as you can see there on the screen in front of you. And again, these panels can be used for many different applications and verticals. Like I said, digital signage. We also use for kitchen display system, wall hanging point-of-sale kiosk integrations, across a wide deployment of verticals that would go from hospitality to retail to transportation and healthcare, just to name a few. Something of interest to note with our Android, and I mentioned this earlier, is that we have seen a significant increase in demand for all of our Android OS-powered machines, especially by ISVs during the last 3 years or so. And this is one of the main reasons for this, or actually say some of the main reasons for this, is our versatility of the Android line that we offer, also the many advantages that we offer to developers. We have our own in-house tech team. We also have our own coding team that can assist ISVs and other integrators to deploy our hardware into the channel. And then in addition to that, also the high quality of the product itself. And we have a stellar after-sales support for these as well. So the previous slide segues nicely into this one. These are also Android devices as well. These are under our unattended self-service kiosk solutions, and these units, as you can see, we're very excited about these because these units are our newest line that we recently added just a few months ago. Our unattended retail solutions can be used for many different verticals again. They could be used for hospitality, transportation, and so forth. As you can see in the slide there in front of you, we have many different screen sizes and stand heights for maximum deployment flexibility. We've had rave reviews from our channel partners so far with this line of innovative kiosk solutions due to their optimum vertical integration options, robust quality, value pricing, and support, and also their ability to offer a secure integrated EMV payment solution powered by Worldnet payments. We're super excited about this. I tell you, a lot of our channel partners, we've been able to deploy some really cool stuff with this. And as I had mentioned, all of this makes an ideal solution, like I said, for many of our channel partners, from distributors to ISV developers and integrators, for example. Okay? So I hope this gives you a good overview of TEAMSable, where we're at in the channel, what we can offer to solutions providers, again, from distributors to ISVs to systems integrators to ISOs and also to VARs. And also, as I had mentioned, the key part to this is the integration with Worldnet payments, right, for the secure EMV payment solution that we can offer as a bundle. So this concludes my half of the presentation. Before I turn it over to Con, if anybody has any questions about the previous slides that I just reviewed with you regarding TEAMSable hardware, please do not hesitate to message in a question, and then we can go ahead and answer that for you at the Q&A session at the end, okay? With that said, though, I will turn this over to Con from Worldnet Payments, and then he will go ahead and give a presentation of all the great things that we can do with them for hardware, and he'll take it from there. So thank you so much, Con, if you can take it from here, sir.
That's great. Thanks a million, Sean. And yeah, thanks again to everyone else who's joined us so far today. So what I'm going to do here, Sean's obviously given a really great overview of the different hardware or point-of-sale hardware solutions that that TEAMSable can offer. And I think it's pretty obvious from that, just the wide range of implementations that that we can service through this partnership. So as Sean said, that it's not vertical specific. It really opens up our partners, our ISVs, our clients to utilize a lot of different kind of payment elements. And what I'd like to do now, or what I'm going to show, is basically initially what Worldnet does as a gateway. A lot of people have different views or opinions on gateways and what they do, but what I'd like to do is just really hone in on what we specialize in, and then I'll also go into more detail on from a payments perspective, the partnership between Worldnet and TEAMSable and how that can benefit, as I said, our partners and our ISVs. So initially, just looking at what exactly does Worldnet do, or what's the benefit of working with Worldnet as a gateway. Our biggest kind of push, our biggest focus is with integrated software solutions. And our whole purpose or our whole goal is to try and provide what you see in front of us here, which is frictionless omni-channel payment solutions. When we talk about frictionless, I think if you look at something like Uber, that's always the best example. It took a piece out of the whole taxi environment that people probably didn't realize they didn't like, and that was the introduction, or the interaction with the taxi driver to try and make a payment at the end. So now you just order your Uber, you have your app, you make payment within that, and if you don't want to talk to somebody, you don't have to. So that's kind of what we see in terms of payments. That's what people want. They don't necessarily want to have a slow and cumbersome kind of process with a lot of interaction with other people or anything else. And that's what we try to do, both in terms of the payments, and then also we try to take the friction out of the whole integration process. And we'll go into it in more detail in some of the following slides, just around how we do that. But primarily as a gateway, to reduce friction, what we look to do is we try to limit the amount of integrations, payment relationships, the different touch points that our clients would have. And the way we've done that is we've developed our gateway to be truly omni-channel. And what that means is, and you can see that here in front of you with the top kind of image, we combine a variety of different payment channels all under one gateway relationship. So we obviously cover point of sale payments, which we've discussed here, or which we are discussing here. That would include the TEAMSable hardware and the integrations we do there. And again, that's geared towards your retail, restaurants, any kind of customer facing point of sale environment. Today, it's not enough to just have a point of sale solution, and especially with everything we've seen going on in the last few months. Things like mobile payments, click and collect, e-commerce, pay by link, all of that kind of thing. That's really kind of brought itself to the forefront. It's been brought to the forefront to provide other methods of accepting payments. So we tick the box on the point of sale solution, and then if there is value add services you need, we can also provide in-app payments. We can do e-commerce, we can do over the phone processing, recurring payments, and then the last piece that we see there, the self-service payments. And again, Sean has touched on this with the TEAMSable hardware. This is something we've seen huge growth in over the last probably 2 years at this stage, and that's people allowing their customers to serve themselves in case they want to. So you will have a point of sale solution, and then you're also going to have a kiosk style solution. And if you think of things like quick service restaurants, that's an ideal kind of example where you have your standard point of sale plus the ability to self-serve. And what we do then, we package that all together, and we provide that as a gateway solution to ISVs, allowing them to integrate, and then allowing their customers to avail of all of the services we provide as part of the gateway. So that's just looking at us as a gateway and what exactly we can do. The relationship with TEAMSable, the whole kind of purpose of this, or what we're trying to achieve as part of this partnership, is to become a one-stop shop, or the one kind of point of call for everything that you need to do with payments. And again, we're really focusing on, we're trying to cater for the ISV integrated software kind of space, providing a simple solution to them that allows them to take care of all their payment needs in one relationship, and then kind of focus on what they want to be doing, which is their software. So if you look on the kind of middle section here, we've called out just some of the kind of high level parts that make up this partnership. So again, we've spoken about the TEAMSable point-of-sale hardware, and Sean touched on it earlier, but within that you then also have payment terminals or payment hardware, and ID Tech would be the primary relationship that we work with there. So not only do you have your point of sale, as in the TEAMSable kind of tablets or kiosk solutions, you also have the payment element integrated into that as well, or the payment hardware integrated in as well. What we do then is with our GoChip SDK, which is pre-certified with the majority of the major processors, we allow a kind of a contact point between the hardware world and the software world of payments. So by using our GoChip SDK, which is available for both Android and Windows, we also then have solutions for iOS and Java and Linux as well for other implementations. But by using that SDK, that takes care of everything to do with payments. So you don't have to worry about talking to a terminal. You don't have to worry about talking to a processor. You just integrate our SDK, and that takes care of all that kind of thing for you. Obviously, once you have the SDK integrated, that gets you down to the Worldnet gateway, which has all those different kind of elements that I mentioned earlier. And I'll also go into some of the value add features in one of the next slides, which gives more information there. And then also we are kind of your access point, or your way to get to your processor, your merchant bank. And unlike lots of other providers, we don't specify that if you want to use the Worldnet gateway, or if your clients want to use the gateway, we don't force you to use one of our processing relationships. If you're an ISO or if you're an ISV that already has a kind of a portfolio built up with one of the processors, and you want to keep that relationship, we can work with your existing MIDs as well. So we're not coming in to try and take your residuals. If you have residuals, you can keep them and you can still work with us. And then the final step, and this is something it's kind of relatively new, I suppose, in terms of this relationship. And we kind of saw it as being the last kind of pain point, or the last point of friction, was to bundle all of this together and then partner with a distribution network or distribution channel that allows our partners to contact a distributor and say, yeah, I want to use the TEAMSable hardware with Worldnet as a gateway, and then have that distributor package that all up, make sure that the correct keys are there, the correct configurations, all the right hardware units are there, and then pass that out to the end users. And that was really an important piece in, as I said, reducing that last item, which is friction. When I mentioned earlier, I've kind of touched on this a couple of times, that as well as providing that kind of high level kind of product offering, so the different payment channels of e-commerce, virtual terminal, in-app, unattended payments, and cardholder present, as well as providing those, there's a whole host of additional value add features that can be provided through this partnership or this relationship. I've called these out here, so I probably won't go through them all, but there's some kind of important ones in there. And again, if we just look at the kind of the images going across the middle there, again, we have our TEAMSable Point-of-Sale hardware, which the ISV is going to integrate with, or they're putting their software on. We've got ID Tech as a primary payments hardware provider. We also work with people like Star Micronics. So if you have payment peripherals, printers, and all the rest of it, we have a relationship there and integration there, which would allow you to work with that through this partnership as well. And again, we're looking at the Worldnet features here. So I've touched on a lot of these, but one of the key things that we see, or one of the key interest points for our partners, is the fact that by consolidating all of those different payment channels, and instead of having 3, 4, 5 different providers, each providing their own specific element, and by pulling that all into this relationship, it means that you can have all of your payments, analytics, and transaction reporting coming through one channel. So it's one single source of all of your payment information. It's one integration point to actually access that. So when it comes to reporting, reconciliation, if you want to pull that out and put it into your dashboard, your customer-facing dashboard, or if it's things like processing refunds, voided transactions, or whatever else it may be, that element there is vital. And if you're talking to ISVs who've got kind of large clients with multiple offices around different states, around the country, the ability to kind of pull that all together into one place and then report as a whole, as a group, or come down to individual regional areas, or come down to individual store locations, that's something we've seen a lot of interest in. Tokenization is probably one of the most kind of asked for or sought after features that we offer, and the reason for that is it leads to a sticky customer. So if you've got any kind of loyalty plan, or say for example you've got an unattended car wash and you offer a loyalty package, or if you want to have customers who can go to different stores around the region, rather than always having to present their card, we can tokenize a transaction. That token may be linked to a barcode or a QR code or something like that, and then anytime a card holder comes up, once that barcode is scanned, it will use the card payment token in the background to process a transaction. So again, it's aimed at reducing that point of friction. It may seem like a small thing, but taking your card out of your wallet and inserting it, that's whatever. It's a 30-second to a minute task that some people may not want to do. So if you can remove that, it just makes people more likely to make payment. And with tokenization, I suppose one of the really important elements of that, and again, this is a big benefit of having all of your payments through one platform, that tokenization is cross-platform. So regardless of what payment method is being used, if it's e-commerce or if it's in-app or if it's at the point of sale, there is the ability to tokenize a card and use a token at all of those different payment options. And then again, if you do have a large franchise or a tier one with thousands of locations around the country, those tokens can be shared across that entire portfolio as well. So really, really important just to tie all of those locations together. If you link it to loyalty, if you link it to repeat or recurring transactions, it just gives a lot of flexibility around there. So yeah, that's kind of one of the important features. And then again, I think one piece we probably haven't discussed so far, and it is becoming increasingly important, and it's an ask we see a lot. ISVs don't want to be in scope for PCI, or they want to be as kept out of scope as much as possible. By using our solution, you're not going to have access to the card details at any point. It all runs through our gateway. We just send transaction responses through to you. Same thing with tokenization. You don't have access to the card details. You just have access to a token. So by using a solution like Worldnet's, you are going to remove a lot of that kind of PCI headache, and it just takes that box off for you. Yeah, so without going through all of them, that's just some of the highlights. What we'll do is we'll actually send a copy of this presentation on to all the attendees following the webinar. And then, as Sean said earlier, if there is any questions, you can just pop them into that Q&A box down the bottom right-hand corner, and we can answer them as well. I've touched on this a couple of times and not given detail. So these are the processor certifications. So with the Worldnet Gateway, what we do and what we've done kind of differently to others is not only do we have certifications, we've actually certified the payment hardware along with our SDK through to the processors. And basically what we've done is, so if you look at the ID Tech hardware in this case, we have done it so that is now EMV level 3 certified, and it's also EMV contactless for any of the devices that support that. So we've effectively done all of that heavy lifting in terms of certification. Anyone who's gone through that before or has thought about it knows that there's considerable cost and time, kind of a timeline associated with that. So we've done all that so that you don't have to. And because of that unique way that we have taken our SDK and the device, it just means as soon as you integrate that SDK, that gets you up and running without the need for further processor certs. So if you look at the list here, you'll kind of see that most of the big names in the US market are covered off here. First Data and TSYS would be our primary relationships, but we do have relationships and can use merchant IDs from all the names below the line there as well. As I said earlier, if you are an ISO or if you do have residuals you're kind of trying to keep and you have a relationship with one of these providers, just let us know and we can go through a process to use existing merchant IDs to process. Alternatively, if you don't have a relationship, we can obviously create merchant IDs as well through these relationships and negotiate group rates and things like that as well, just to try and be competitive competitive in the market. So a couple of different options there. Yeah, a few different options there. And then the last piece, so I did touch on this earlier on as well, was around the distribution channel and the partners that we work with. So I can see a couple of those are in attendance here. So I'm glad I put the logos on. So if you look at the list here, we've got POS Data, we've got UCP, Discount Credit Card Supply, and POS Portal. So if you have relationships with these today, you can go along to your relationship manager there, and they'll be able to put together this package solution for you. If you don't, please feel free to reach out myself or Sean, and we'd be happy to put you in touch with the partners and kind of kick that process off as well. And like I said, with this distribution piece, we see this as being the final piece of the jigsaw, and that is really to package up everything that we've spoken about so far, all the way from ordering your TEAMSable Point-of-Sale hardware, adding in correctly encrypted and key injected and configured ID Tech hardware with the Worldnet keys, as well as anything else that may be needed to get up and running or to get your clients up and running. And that's the end of the presentation. So that's kind of, without spending too long here, I think the invite said this was going to be 3 hours, so we've come in considerably longer than that, to probably everyone's relief. So as Sean said earlier, we're going to open up to some questions. If anyone does have any, please just feel free to type them in down the bottom corner, and we can answer those for you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Con. That was an excellent overview of the Worldnet payment ecosystem. And just a couple of things I would like to add. And to our audience, my apologies. Apparently, the messaging system was disabled in this webinar, but I do believe that it's working now. So if you were trying to message us a question earlier, our apologies. We weren't receiving it, but you should be able to get that soon. And I just see a couple of questions that just came in, but I just wanted to add on to a couple of things that Con had mentioned earlier, so yes, with TEAMSable Point-of-Sale hardware for EMV solutions, we do use the ID Tech hardware. We use ID Tech OEM hardware, and then we create our own custom housing to insert that ID Tech OEM hardware, so we are able to do a seamless integration with our point-of-sale hardware. Okay, so I just wanted to go ahead and point that out. And then, and just as we draw things down, as we get into the Q&A here, the bottom line is this: we want everybody, when they leave this presentation, to know what the bottom line is with this collaboration between TEAMSable and Worldnet. And basically, it's this: we can offer you a complete point-of-sale hardware solution, right? That's value priced, with an integrated EMV payment solution across numerous different payment processors. Okay, and I think that's the key here. Is we're with this channel collaboration effort between TEAMSable and Worldnet Payments, is to offer best of breed hardware and payment processing at the lowest price possible, with the easiest integration and deployment to the channel. Okay, so with that said, I do see a question here, and it says, in which countries is the TEAMSable Worldnet solutions available? That's a very good question. So our primary target market for TEAMSable for this webinar would be for North America. All right, so that would be the United States, and also for Canada and Mexico. However, I'm going to turn this over to Con, because I know that the payments ecosystem in Canada and Mexico are different than the United States. And in addition to that, TEAMSable hardware, our hardware is available worldwide. We're an international company. The American office in San Jose, California, we're the ones who are doing this webinar, but we have offices worldwide in Taiwan and also in Europe. So if there are any countries that you want to specifically deploy our hardware with the Worldnet solution, please, let's talk about this later, either on the phone or email, and we can give you additional information. And in addition to that, I do know that Worldnet Payments, they're a global company. They're headquartered in Europe and Dublin, Ireland. And with that said, Con, do you want to add where your payment processing services, what countries they're available in?
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for that, Sean. And yeah, Casey, it's a great question, and I suppose knowing the relationship between Worldnet and NextGen, I can imagine where this is coming from. So, as Sean pointed out, although the TEAMSable hardware is available in Canada and Mexico, at the moment we are limited to the US market in terms of our certifications. And again, as Sean said, it's just purely those two markets have their own kind of quirks in them, and we just haven't gone to them yet. But on the European side of things, as Sean mentioned, Worldnet is a European-based gateway. So we primarily look after the European and the United States market. So if there is a requirement, or if you'd like to use the TEAMSable hardware along with Worldnet gateway in Europe, and that's throughout the entirety of Europe, including the UK, obviously, that is something we could absolutely look into.
Yeah, and that's a great overview, Con. And just to add to that, with any deployments that are outside of North America, if our close partnership with Worldnet Payments, listen, if we can make it work, we will. Okay, and that's our promise to all of our partners. Okay, and then Looks like we have another question. How do you offer your services in terms of hardware and Worldnet integration? Okay, so that's a good question. So both of our companies, we have our own internal tech team. In addition to that, we have our own coders, right? So we've already done a lot of the heavy lifting. Both of us, TEAMSable and Worldnet Payments, we've already done the majority of the heavy lifting. So any ISVs who want to do an integration or systems integrators that want to do a TEAMSable Worldnet Payments deployment, a lot of it, like I said, we've already done a lot of the heavy lifting. So the integration for the ISV, for example, right, would be relatively easy because we have all the support systems in place to be able to assist with that. Okay, and I did get actually, Con, was there anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I think just to add on to your point, so in terms of the ISV integration from the Worldnet side of things, as I mentioned earlier, our SDK, and we've got specific SDK builds for all the different hardware devices we work with. That'll cover, as I said earlier, it'll cover Android, Windows, Java, Linux, iOS, and then we also would have kind of other solutions like WebSocket solutions for more complex kind of integration. So what we do is we try and take the pain out of that integration. We have these SDK builds which are made specifically for certain implementations. We then have an integrations team based here in Atlanta, primarily for ISVs, but we also have a support team and development team in Dublin which can service there. Which is useful because it means if you've got developers around the world, it actually extends our integration kind of support timelines. And that team is there on hand. So whether it's by phone, by email, generally we'd set up a Slack channel or some other kind of form of direct communication. So you'll have direct access to our support team. You'll have direct access to our developers. And that just allows us to try and take, again, some of that friction out of the integration process and make it as easy as possible. So I think, yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah, and just as a closing note to that too, the close working relationship between TEAMSable POS hardware and Worldnet Payments is our flexibility to be able to allow customizations for deployments, even enterprise rollouts. So we will, as I mentioned earlier, whatever your requirements are, we will definitely do our best to be able to fulfill your deployment needs. And then just one last question I got offline earlier was just a confirmation on our distributors. And in the slide that we had earlier that was closing, we did list them. So for right now, for the distributors that this solution would be available through would be through UCP in Las Vegas, Nevada. Actually, there we go. Thank you. And then Pause Data and Discount Credit Card Supply. They are a new distributor with us, and we're super excited to have them on board. So thank you to Adam and his team over there at Discount Credit Card Supply. And then we're also available in Pause Portal as well. So we have quite a few ESO distributors. All of these folks have their own KIFs. Not a problem. So with that said, again, we greatly appreciate I'm sorry, let me just check one last time on the questions just to make sure I got them all. Okay, looks like we're good. With that said, we greatly appreciate your time today, and happy Friday to everybody. And as we all go into the weekend, and again, if anybody has any questions moving forward, please don't hesitate to contact us at sales@teamsable.com. We'll be more than happy to address any questions you may have. And then, Con, is there anything you would like to say in closing, sir, as we bring the webinar to an end?
No, I think you've covered it all pretty well, Sean. So again, just thanks to everyone for joining in today. Thanks for the partnership with TEAMSable, and it's something we're really looking forward to kicking off and seeing where we can go in the next few months. So yeah, if there is any questions from the gateway side of things, you can see there the email is ussales@worldnettps.com, or else you can contact me directly, con.byrne@worldnettps.com, and we'll send around contact details after the webinar as well.
Wonderful. Okay, and with that said, thank you again, everybody, for your valuable time. Have a great weekend, and we definitely look forward to working on some projects with everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.